Hello, welcome to the Silent Film File, and today I'm going to talk to you about Sara Garcia. She saw the evolution of Mexican cinema and became known as the hell did I say?
Abuelita.
Huh?
Abuelita.
The Abuelita of Mexico. What the hell is Abuelita?
Grandmother.
The grandmother of Mexico.
Sara Garcia was born on September the 8th, 1895 in Orizaba, Veracruz. Her parents came from Spain. They had 11 children, but Sara was the only survivor. When she was 5, her father got a stroke and died in 1900. And in 1905, a typhus epidemic invaded Mexico. Sara got infected and infected her mother. Her mother passed away 20 days later. Left as an orphan, she entered La Viscancia school as an intern. With her good grades and artistic skills, she was allowed to remain at the school. Eventually, around the age of 15, she became a teacher. When she was 22 in 1917, she discovered Aztec Film Studios. Curiosity sprang on her and she thought about acting. She was welcomed in the studio and appeared in their first film, En Defensa Propia, in self-defense. She began to appear as extras in various films like Alma de Sacrificio and La Soñadora. It was while working in La Soñadora that she met Fernando Ibáñez. They married and had a daughter, Fernanda Mercedes. Her husband eventually started messing around with other women and Sara divorced him and left with her daughter. She decided to care for her daughter and returned to her final silent film in 1927, Yo Soy Tu Padre, I Am Your Father. Ironically, her husband came back years later, but he was sick. She took care of him until his death in 1932. When talking films came about, many silent film actors lost their jobs in the United States because of their accents. This wasn't the case in other countries, so Sara in Mexico continued to appear in other films throughout the 1930s. Her daughter began acting as well, and at one point she became romantically involved with the future star Jorge Negrete. But only 2 years later, Fernanda Mercedes became ill with the typhoid fever, the same illness that killed her mother. Fernanda Mercedes died on October 17, 1940. Sara, heartbroken, never wanted to marry again and continued acting in extras in various films. In 1940, at age 45, Sara was suggested to play Doña Panchita, an older woman in the film Allá en el Trópico. The director disagreed, but with the help of Emma Roldan, an actress and costume designer, Sara Garcia was made up for the screen test. She messed with her teeth and the wig and even hurt her knee to help her walk with a cane. This time the director was convinced. The film was a comedy, but in the parts of sadness and tears, Sara Garcia delivered. As from here on, she would play roles of grandmothers despite of her age. She began to star in many roles alongside and helping younger actors that would be later known as Pedro Infante, Jorge Negrete, Germán Valdez, Tintán, and Cantinflas. She became known as La Abuelita de Mexico, Mexico's grandmother. She continued to appear in various films and telenovelas deep into the 1970s. In 1973, Sara Garcia appeared in the commercial for Chocolates Azteca, later bought by Nestle. They continued using her image for advertising, and it became trademark for Abuelita chocolate. Sara Garcia passed away on November 21, 1980, of a cardiac arrest. She was buried with her daughter at Panteón Español in Mexico City. Pedro Infante would always serenade Sara Garcia with the song Mi Cariñito. This was the song that played at her funeral. Unfortunately, Pedro Infante died tragically in 1957, so wherever they are now, he can continue to serenade her.